Hi, guys. Welcome to another conversation session. Wow, it's been a minute. How is everyone doing? I have really missed all of you. I pray that you're all well and strong and safe. I mean, just few months ago, none of us, I don't think when we were all entering into January 2020, any of us, unless, maybe some people that would say God revealed it to them. But me personally, I didn't envisage it that we're going to get into a period like this where everybody is going to be on a lockdown. The entire world was going to be struck by something so small yet so huge and massive. I really pray that we don't forget this so quickly. I had a few people, some of my work colleagues and friends, say that they have learned certain life lessons from this pandemic. But I thank God that it's not all over, but we're getting there. And I hope that this video meets you in peace and well. Today, I want us to have a conversation as usual. So please help me, let me know your thoughts and your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much. So today it's reason or results. Very simple. Reason or results. When you set out to do something, a project, learn something, a new skill, learn how to cook, decide to dress a certain way. I mean, every single decision you make and everything you do, what is the biggest factor? What motivates you? The reason behind it or the result you expect to get? Maybe you've never really thought of it before, but as you watch this video, I want you to really reflect and think some of the things you've done in the past, why you did them. For example, before you go to university, you don't just go to university. Normally in primary education, we all do similar subjects, right? So we don't really get to pick and choose. When you get to your GCSEs as well, you can do as many. I don't understand that whole system, but yeah. A levels begins to narrow down a bit. So there you begin to pick, because I believe you can have a maximum of 4 A levels, I think. Or at my time, yeah. So then you begin to narrow down. And what you're doing, it's almost as if what you do in your GCSEs will help you as to what you can do in for your A levels. And then from there, what you do, the subjects, I mean, that you take for your A levels will also decide the courses that you are able to do at degree level in university. But if you've been through that process like myself and you're now working, or I mean, wherever stage you are in your life, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself why you decided to pick that degree course that you did. At that point, was it the reason or the results you wanted to get out of it? That's just an example I'm giving. And you may be wondering, how did Victoria come to this bit, or why am I asking this question? I realize that a lot of people who feel like they have failed in life, or who feel like they have lost their pathway, or a lot of people who feel like they are in the wrong aspect of life. They feel that way because they look at the results they are getting out of something they set out to do. And since the result isn't really matching what they expected, then they feel maybe it's not for me. But is that always the case? Is there not glory in the process to a thing? Okay, so let me give an example. If I set out to build a house, I need to consider how much it would take me. I need to consider how long it would take me to be able to complete the house. I need to consider the materials that I need to build the house, depending actually even on the size of the house I want, the location where I want the house. I need to consider the size of land I will need. That's if I'm building from scratch. And then I need to consider how much it will cost me. I also need to consider my strength, My strength in the sense that if I'm working, how much money do I earn? How will I be able to save? And all these other factors come in. Now, so if I sit down and plan all these things out, and I realize that it's going to take me 5 years to build a house and it's going to cost me, let's say, £1 million. I'm just exaggerating, guys, chill. And it's going to cost me £1 million to build a house. And I follow exactly the process that I had planned out and laid out. And at the end of the 5 years and £1 million out of my account, I still haven't gotten exactly the quality and the stage of place I was expecting the house to get to. And I begin to feel like I have failed. Or maybe I begin to feel like, you know what, maybe building a house is not for me. Maybe I was just destined to just keep renting people's house forever. Because if it was for me, then the way I planned everything, it should have gone that way. I don't know if you've ever felt like that before. And if a person should come to you with such a situation, what would be your advice to the person? Because I feel like these days, society, or I don't know, but yeah, I can only blame society really. But society makes me feel like, let me use myself as an example. Society makes me feel like when I set out to do something and I don't get the expected result, then I have failed, number one. And it also means that I didn't actually put in any hard work. As a student, you agree with me that it is possible to study very hard for an exam and still fail it. And I am saying this not out of pride, but I'm saying it out of experience. There was a particular subject when I was in school that I was very good at. I didn't need to, how do I say it? I didn't need to revise it as much as other subjects. I knew that by the grace of God, I had it. Generally, I was good at it. And I'll still revise it. I revised. I was very confident, went into an exam, sat the exam. In fact, after the exam, sometimes you and your friends, oh, what was the answer to question 3? Oh, what was this? We were talking about it. And I was so sure. I left that exam hall confident that I was going to get a good grade, only for the result to come out and I failed woefully. And it didn't make sense to me. So even at home, even my teacher was asking me, it was a national exam then, so it wasn't even marked by teachers, right? So even my teacher for that particular subject said, this doesn't make sense, Victoria, because I know you and I saw the paper that you wrote and I know that you're capable of, getting better or doing better than you did. So what happened? And I was like, you know what? I don't understand it myself. Anything could have happened. Maybe I didn't write, my handwriting wasn't good enough, and so the examiner or the person who was marking it couldn't read most of my answers. Maybe I didn't follow certain instructions, because sometimes you can be asked a question and they want you to answer it in a specific way. So you may have a knowledge of the answer, but if you don't answer it the way that you've been asked to, then you lose marks. So anything could have gone wrong. But most times, what do we see? Your parents, anybody could see that and then assume that, oh, for you to fail this exam, it means you didn't study for it. So reason or result? What do we go by judging people, by judging ourselves? When you're about to do something, is your motivation the reason why I want to do this thing? Is that what motivates you to keep going? Or is it the result you want out of it? Are you marrying a virgin, for example, a virgin girl, because you believe that when you marry a virgin, you'll have a beautiful marriage, your marriage will be perfect? Or are you marrying a virgin because you believe in purity? So is it the reason or the result you expect to get out of it? Because the reason is, marrying a virgin for a reason is because you believe in purity. And so that's the reason why you've decided to marry a virgin. But the person who is marrying a virgin for result is a person who would think this way, that marrying a virgin means I would have a happy home. So that's somebody who's gone that path. So two people gone the same path, but their motivation is two different things. What motivates your action? What motivates you when you're about to do something? Is it the reason, the motive behind it, or the result you are going to get? I really want you to really ponder and think about this thing, because for me, I think the day that I distinguished between the two of them and decided which bit I'm going to hold on to, it changed my life. This was like a year ago. And somebody will be wondering, so Victoria, where do you stand? For me, it's reason and not results. Because I've realized that nothing is guaranteed in life. Absolutely nothing is guaranteed in life. And so if we are always doing things, our motivation to do things is always about the reason, then you easily get frustrated, you easily get depressed, you easily get discouraged. But if you have a reason, it's about give. For example, when it comes to giving, we in a perfect world would expect give and take. Even the Bible says, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. But you and I know that in the real world, that's not how it is. You could give so much to a person, and if they also don't have that understanding that you have about giving and a generous heart, they won't give too. And you know what? Everybody's different. So if you're giving because of the result you're going to get out of it, which is that as I'm giving, I'm expecting that I get in return, then you're going to be disappointed when it doesn't happen. But if you're given for a reason, and the reason being giving makes me happy, I understand that being generous is good. And so when I give to somebody, it makes me feel kind and I'm happy about it. And this is the reason why I'm giving. Then even if you don't receive anything back in return, you're okay. It doesn't mean that you won't expect, but even when you don't receive, because the result of getting back wasn't your motivation for giving, you still be at peace and you're still happy with yourself. It's the same way you hear so many times in songs that, love goes where love is. But in my own life, I realized that it's not always exactly true. Because I remember one thing a friend said to me a few years ago that I will never forget. He said, Victoria, just the same way everybody's entitled to their opinion, everyone is also entitled to their emotions. So as a young man, as a young woman, the fact that you are in love with somebody doesn't mean automatically they are going to be in love with you. So this is the reason why sometimes we get all this love triangle, one-sided love. This person loves this person, but this person loves this person instead. So everything we do, or everything I do for now, or from when I came to that understanding, is mostly, mainly, if not all the time, motivated by my reason. And that has always kept me sane. And that has made me understand that even if I don't get the result that I expect to get or other people expect to get, then it's fine. Because most people have judged us. If you look at your life, you see that sometimes when people say certain things to you and you think about it, it's because they're expecting, you hear something like, oh, how old are you? 30. Or at the age of 30, you're expected to have been married. At the age of 30, you're expected to have maybe bought a car. So if you haven't, then it's as if you have failed. But maybe you have done everything right in life as much as you are able to, but it just hasn't happened. You don't have any control over it. But because you've not gotten the results, to everybody else, you have failed. To everybody else, you're not doing anything about it. You're not putting in the hard work, but maybe you are. So that's what I'm saying. Let's begin to understand that there is glory in the process. So that if at all you don't get the desired results, you are satisfied and content with yourself because you know that it's not as if you didn't go through the process. You did, but then you just didn't get the results. I'll end with this. So about somewhere last year, ending of last year, a friend of mine jokingly, a work colleague of mine jokingly got me this ring. I want you to look at it very well. So it sort of does look like an engagement ring, but it's a female friend that got me this ring, right? From Pandora. We actually went to the shop and we're just looking at rings and jewelry and all that, as ladies, how we can be. And she was asking if I knew the size of my finger. So I said, no, I didn't. And we asked the lady to help us and we're just trying on rings. And I saw this ring and I was like, oh, this is nice. This will be a nice, engagement ring and everything. We just had a talk. And about a week later, I was just at work when she came with it. And I was like, oh, okay. But I thought, okay, it's nice. It's just a ring. So I wear it on my right finger. Now I wore the ring. And I took a picture. Not that I took a picture necessarily with the ring, but I'm just saying I started wearing the ring from then. So I took a picture and I posted it on my WhatsApp, and you will not believe the amount of comments. Some people were just going, "Oh, congratulations. We didn't know you got engaged." Some people were asking, "When is the wedding?" Some people were saying, "Oh, finally it happened." And I was thinking to myself, wait, what are these people talking about? Nobody even asked me that, "Oh, Victoria, are you engaged, or are you going to get engaged?" So I was now thinking, see, they assume results. They've seen a ring on her finger. It means she's engaged. But there was no process. I'm not engaged. And I had to say to a few of them, the ring is on my right hand, people. Can you not see? It's on my right hand. As far as I know, conventionally, rings go on the left hand. You know, when people get engaged and wedding rings and whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, the conventional way is always the left hand. So I said to them that if you pay attention to the picture, you realize the ring I'm wearing, even though it looks so much like an engagement ring, is on my right hand and even on the wrong finger. So what are you saying? But that's what I'm trying to say. So I could have easily fooled people if I chose to wear this ring on my left hand on the actual finger. I could fool people. And that's results. They've seen results. And so I could have just said, yeah, I'm engaged, and everybody would believe it. So it's the same way a lot of people are fooling us as well on social media, because of the way they've packaged and covered up themselves. Very presentable. So you see them and we think of them in a certain way. But in actual sense, they are nothing like that. So again, when you're doing something, what motivates it? Reason or results? Have a think of it. Pick your stand. Let me know what you think. All right, I really did enjoy this again. Stay awesome.